few days ago, I did a post on religious freedoms in the classroom and how Louisiana is trying to mandate the 10 Commandments being posted on every classroom from kindergarten up to public colleges in their state. And I got a lot of comments back and forth about whether or not we need to have religion in the classroom and how this needs to be a Christian-dominated nation. Well, in the true words of a poet, a intellectual, a rapper, entertainer, and a Pulitzer Prize winner, Kendrick Lamar,
sometimes you gotta pop out and show.
Let's go to the word. Not that word, this word. The First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show.
But wait a minute. It said Congress shall make no law. Let's go to 1962 Eagle v. Vitale Supreme Court case. In a 6-1 ruling by Supreme Court Justice Hugo Black, who was a former Ku Klux Klan member, he said this: the majority, via Justice Black, held that school-sponsored prayer violates the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment. The majority stated that the provisions allowing students to absent themselves from this activity did not make the law constitutional because the purposes of the First Amendment was to prevent government interference with religion. The majority noted that religion is very important to a vast majority of the American people. Since Americans adhere to a wide variety of beliefs, it is not appropriate for the government to endorse any particular belief system. The majority noted that wars, persecutions, and other destructive measures often arose in the past when government involved itself in religious affairs.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show.
To all of my listeners, right now I'm telling you that the MAGA-sponsored Republican Party is...
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Oh, I'm not done. Thomas Jefferson, when he was in the State Assembly of Virginia, said this: we, the General Assembly of Virginia, do enact that no man shall be compelled to frequent or support any religious worship, place, or ministry whatsoever, nor shall be enforced, restrained, molested, or burthened in his body or goods, nor shall otherwise suffer on account of his religious opinions or belief, but that all men shall be free to profess and by argument to maintain their opinions in matter of religion, and that the same shall in no wise diminish, enlarge, or affect their civil capacities.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Let's go back to that government being involved in religion and how that has caused a lot of wars. Let's go to the father of the Constitution, James Madison, because he said this: the purpose of separation of church and state is to keep forever from these shores the senseless strife that soaked the soil of Europe in blood for centuries. Even James Madison knew that when you have the state involved in religion, and because there's such a vast variety of religions, it's gonna cause wars.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show.
Oh, and MAGA loves them some Andrew Jackson. They can't get enough of Andrew Jackson. But let's listen to what Andrew Jackson said about religion and state affairs. As a delegate who helped write Tennessee's Constitution in 1796, Jackson had opposed a provision that would have required a religious oath for public office, which the U.S. Constitution prohibited for national office. As president, Jackson refused to call for a national day of prayer and fasting to halt a cholera epidemic because he believed that the Constitution carefully separated sacred from secular concerns. When asked to endorse an organization seeking to establish Sunday schools in the West, Jackson indicated that he could only provide such an amendment if it did not prefer one domination over another. It didn't say amendment, it said endorsement. He couldn't endorse it. Even a man as racist and prejudicial as Andrew Jackson drew a line when it came to separating church and state. I'm trying to tell you guys, MAGA...
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
And I'm going to leave you with the man, the myth, the legend, George Washington. No one would be more zealous than myself to establish effectual barriers against the horrors of spiritual tyranny in every species of religious persecution. For you, doubtless, remember that I have often expressed my sentiment that every man conducting himself as a good citizen and being accountable to God alone for his religious opinions ought to be protected in worshiping the deity according to the dictates of his own conscience. When you look at historical fact, I took you through primary and secondary sources. I took you to the horse's mouth and the interpretation of the horse's mouth. I took you to Supreme Court cases, and I showed you that there should not be prayer in schools unless you allow every prayer in school. What do you think?
Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching.